So, hello everybody. Here I am, Andres, Larry, Kool, here to talk to you about um, how to really start crushing it in 2021. It's been already a fast year. I mean, if we just look at the news that we've been having, uh, they're just out of this world. And success is literally there for everybody. You just have to seize it. Sometimes it's opportunistic, sometimes it's intentional, but you want to be your success as intentional as possible. Um, Let me make sure that everybody is tuned in. And Kel, if you mind introducing yourself.
Hi, my name is Kelvin Joseph. I'm happy to be here. I love entrepreneurs. I love sharing my lessons learned with people. I feel as though they always say it's who you know, right? It's not just who you know. It's it's who you know and what they know about you. So I always preach that you got to build awareness, likability, and trust. And I think you do that by sharing with people and adding value to people. And that's what I want to do today. I've done a couple of things, but I feel like I'm just warming up. I've been inked 30 under 30 the same year as Zuckerberg. I've done $250 million in sports marketing deals and events. I've started a couple of companies. I've failed, I've won, I've lost, but let's go. I'm here.
Yeah. So basically, the first month is pretty much wrapped up, and everybody, when it comes to small medium businesses, everybody deserves to play like a big player. You know, it's that's where everybody wants to be at. But then at the same time, the big players want to be able to do what we do, be able to connect with people like we do, be able to adapt the way that we can. So that's why here at Key9 Marketing, we believe that to reach that point, it just comes down to two things: planning and execution. How do you feel about that, Kel?
Well, if you don't have a plan, it's really difficult. Some people just say, I'm going to do the best I can. But it's like, it's much easier to hit a target if you actually have a target. And then you can be more intentional with every move that you make. But when it comes to execution, some people don't know how to execute. And I don't think you need to know everything, but you should get some people who know the things you don't know. It's almost like saying if somebody is not good at social media, they could say, okay, I'm just going to leave that alone, or I could just get somebody to help them with that. So it's not a function of being all things. I feel like people who are specialists and experts in what they do should just build a team around them that helps them execute the rest.
I,
Right.
I agree with what you're saying. It's a skill to have that self awareness to be able to say, I'm not good at that. Let me go find somebody that's great at that. So I'm with you 100% on that.
And to gain that kind of awareness, it actually takes you to sit down and go through the things that you know happen to be your strengths, things that have gone wrong in the past. What are you not good at? That actually is an exercise. It's not just something that you wake up and be like, oh, I know exactly what I'm great at and bad at. No, you need intention on that. And that's what, if you exercise a plan for your business,
Mhm.
that and a strategy, that's what you realize where our strengths lie and where are our weaknesses, where we actually have to plug people in.
Yeah.
Well, I would also add to that that a lot of businesses forget the fact that and there's a thin line between a reason and an excuse why you're not getting things done. It's at the end of the day, it's not like a nice try, it's either you're getting things done and you're achieving your goals or you're not. And if you are not, you got to change something and switch it up. And especially if you're coming out of 2020 doing everything the same, you're probably not going to win. I think that
Right.
massive action, massive change is necessary to compete in a new landscape. If you're waiting for the pandemic to be over, you might be over.
Right. And you could have said that better. Like, yeah, you can't step into this year thinking that what got you through 2020 is what is needed to grow or be successful, because Most of us just got through 2020. We got to switch that up. That has to be a different story now. Now we need to own 2021. And, it takes, for example, what we do here at Kenai, we do annual marketing blueprints and plans, and, sitting down, making sure that you go through every single step of your marketing. Who are you trying to communicate with? What is your what? Get real specific on your goals. What is your why? Figure that out. And most people, where most people make a mistake is that they figure out their why and they never revisit their why. But that's what actually aligns you and gets you ready for the year. That's what gives you also the competitive advantage that you're talking about all throughout the year. And of course, diving into it and really taking and be deliberate. There's a difference between being slow and being deliberate. Deliberate things may not happen as quickly as you think they should, but the progress is there every single step of the way. So by the time that it's done, it's concrete, it's a solid foundation. Slow means that you're just trying to avoid action.
And I'll tell you this, Stephen Covey wrote a book, The Speed of Trust. And his father wrote the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Yeah. But this Stephen Covey wrote The Speed of Trust. And in the book, it has 4 cores of credibility, right? Yeah. You have to have a balance of character and capability. So the 4 cores are this. First is your integrity, right?
Right.
Are you a good person, right? The second thing is your intention. Like, what are your intentions? So those 2 things go into what your character is. And then when it comes to capabilities, we're talking about, okay, what have been your results? Do you have a track record of results?
Right.
And are you capable? And because think about it, it's like someone can have good character, but if they don't have competency, you can't trust them. I'll give you a perfect example. You might trust me to help you with your marketing,
right?
But you're not trusting me to do surgery on you, right? You don't trust me to do surgery because I don't have capabilities. I don't have competence to help you in that area. So when people are trying, so when people are trying to build trust, it's not just, oh, you're a good person. You could be a good person. You could have the right intention for my business and you could be a good person. But you're going to have capabilities and you're going to have a track record, because at the end of the day, if I don't trust you, I'm not doing no business.
Right. Yeah. Right. And something that follows what you said about building trust is a lot of people, the majority of the population is looking to be trusted. The real question is, who's working out here to be trustworthy? Mm-hmm. And how you said on that, that's what that means. When you build your credibility, people are building trust in you because you seem trustworthy in what you're trying to tell them that you are. And that goes, with explaining your why, understanding, your goals, being able to lay out things so you're strategically and intentionally appearing this way, talking to the people, offering value, the value that you are actually able to give without having to fake the funk.
Well, to go with the integrity aspect, once you start it the right way, what's going to happen is you don't have to talk for yourself so much.
Exactly.
People are going to start talking for you.
Yep.
And that's that big referral aspect that comes in. And it was like, man, we just use Kel, for example. It's like, Kool is a good guy. If you're looking for something, he's your guy. And they do the talking for you. And that alone builds that integrity and it just flows over.
Right.
Yeah. And
it's, whenever you want to make profits of your business, your side hustle, your career, at first, people need to know that you're there. People need to know that you're visible. Visibility is first. After that, it's actually just building credibility. People got to know that you're the one. Before you profit, you have to be credible. Nobody will pay you before they believe you can do something.
Yeah,
So that's what marketing actually is supposed to take care of, that aspect. Visibility and credibility is built on your efforts and your marketing.
exactly. When you're talking about visibility and credibility, I break it down as you got to build the awareness, likability, and trust. Because if I don't know who you are, I'm not aware of you, then you're not even considered. If I don't like you, you could be great, but I don't like you, so I'm not going to be. I only do business with people that I like. And if I don't trust you, either if I don't trust your capabilities or I don't trust your character, one of the two is going to disqualify you from getting business. So I've been explaining to people that they often want to do advertising or they want to do marketing and they're looking for a quick fix. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I try to explain to them is like, okay, who are you tricking with that quick fix? Because everybody that I know that makes decisions are pretty smart and they're looking for results. And a lot of consultants and that come from the corporate. They come to corporate and now they're consulting. A lot of these individuals, they believe that their time is so valuable.
Right.
Your time is not valuable. Your results are valuable. What results can you give me? I don't care if it takes you 2 hours or 10 hours. I'm
Right.
looking at the results. And a lot of people, they acting like they're on a 9 to 5 job when they're consulting a client and they're like, oh, I spent so much time on this. You spent all this time going nowhere, or you've been going enthusiastically in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm. And that's and when it comes to marketing or communicating to people your value, who you are, your business, that's what planning actually stops you from or prevents from happening. That whole going in the wrong direction without you even realizing you're putting so much energy to find out you're just in the wrong direction. You gotta make up ground now. Or you weren't even aware of what your own audience or what your market, your industry is actually talking about, or what you're spending money on is not really building you money because it's not tied to your goals.
I'll give you
So
a perfect
then,
example. Here's an example to your point.
mhm,
Corporate America. How long is the average CMO in their job? At the Fortune 1000. How long are they at their job?
About 3 years.
That would be a good run. It's about 18 to 24 months.
ooh,
About 18 months. A CMO, the head of their marketing, they're getting rid of them every 2 years. Now, everybody knows that when you're running a business, like turnover hurts your business. But why is it that chief marketing officers are not even surviving to year two? So that question lets you know that the tone at the top is result oriented. It's not vision and just let's work on the brand. Like people are looking for like results. So whenever I walk into a situation, if I think the Fortune 1000 are impatient with their own CMOs, and that often becomes the fall guy. So when I'm talking about marketing to maybe a small business, I know they need immediate results. So I don't oversell what I do. I tell them exactly what they're going to get and what the results are going to be, and not some pie in the sky branding, marketing. At the end of the day, it takes a couple of years to build a brand, and to
yes,
fix a brand that's broken, it might take longer.
To go with that, Kel, from my own experience, a lot of issues is like you said, people want immediate results, but a lot of the issues isn't necessarily the marketing. It's a lot of what's going on internally that needs to be fixed. And there's so many people that I dealt with. I was like, you guys need to work on what's going on here and keep your current customers happy before we can go get other customers. Because if your current customers aren't happy with you, it's going to be twice as hard to get you new customers. And then you have to just quickly churn and churn and churn, and you're just burning through potential, business for the most part. And that's
Well,
a very common mistake I see in the corporate world.
I believe that it's very important to have a loss leader. If you're if you're running any kind of company, it's very important to have like a loss leader where you get the person used to paying you some money, but you're not really making money off of what you're offering. It's just there to kind of like build a relationship a little bit deeper before you really get like a big contract going. I always think that you should test out the relationship. Sometimes if you're offered, a huge retainer or you're offered a lot of money, sometimes you got to just grab that contract. But then at the end of the day, that's what they're doing in corporate. They're grabbing this CMO, they're recruiting them, and then everything seems like a fairy tale in the beginning. And then I guess less than 12 months into it, they're ready to break up because at the 18-month mark, the person's already gone to the next job. Either the person leaves or the company helps them leave.
Yeah, they're very good at that too. Yeah, so to wrap up, when it comes to planning and really trying to put not just your vision but your goals in the same image, so you're able to see how you're moving and stepping all through it, is be deliberate about it, be detailed about it, try to go through, if you're looking, always look out, vision is years ahead. So your vision should be something that is, smart, attainable. As the longer you go out, the bigger it is. But when it comes to yearly planning, have your goals really set. Understand, go again on your why, dive into it, really understand what it is that you're trying to communicate. And not only that, but what type of trust you're trying to build to whom, who are you trying to talk to? Why you? Why are you here? What is the benefit? State those whys and make sure that throughout your marketing, you're building trust. Trust, relationships, community. That's what marketing in 2021 is all about. It's about doing that with depth and scale. But if you don't have depth, you're not ready to scale. So make sure that your planning accounts for that. Relationship building, building your goals, having not only rely on social media to just be there consistently, because how Kel said, to build a brand takes years. You won't get those results. But if you want your business to get the results, you want to drive that revenue, you want to drive traffic, make sure that if you're throwing rocks in the pond, you're not just throwing small ones. You throw big ones, medium ones. Think of big things that you can do to create and elicit emotions from the people that trust you. Now, planning is all good and well. It gets you going. It gets leadership together. But as Kel said at the start, it's all about execution. Nobody pays you for just your vision, and nobody will get to know you and trust you for just your intentions. So when it comes to execution, Kel is all about actions speak louder than words. So Kel, what do you think is the big thing for companies this year, 2021, to make sure that they execute to their fullest potential?
Well, most businesses I've learned are actually in the relationship business. Doesn't matter what they're selling. It's a function of their relationships. So I've found that you could create immediate results when it comes to increasing relationships by getting someone to introduce you to some people, someone who is connected. We talk about referrals and how sweet is a referral when you get a referral. It's like it's like everything you say is amazing because you got this referral, and now the person is like eating up every word that you say. How do you create more referrals? How do you, in a less how do I say, official way? Like, how are you going to keep getting recommended? And when you're on the tip of everybody's tongue, that's a part of your brand. But at the end of the day, when I start working with a client, the first thing I do is introduce them to 5 or 10 of my friends that are relevant for what they're doing. That's immediate results for them because they're basically trading on my name. And that's something I can offer them right off the bat. But every company has something like that. Something that's easy for them, but hard for, easy for you to execute, but hard for them to execute. And then I found that you have to, before you make the big sale, make a smaller sale where you show the value. And then it's almost like you're a gateway drug because they get a little bit of Kool and they're done because now they're hooked and they can't go nowhere else. It's like they can't function because they need it. So I love being in that powerful position of delivering results.
I think to go with the referral aspect too, a lot of businesses just don't ask. They go through so many customers a day, and you'd be surprised but just like, hey, do you know anyone else that could benefit from what I did for you? So you got to do a good job, because if you don't do a good job, then like, no one wants this.
No.
But in that sense, if you do a great job for them, they want to share that because then they feel good by going like, hey, I just got hooked up really good by Kel's service over here. You need to see what that's about. But sometimes that's never going to happen because a lot of these people are not out there asking for those referrals.
Well, sometimes it's awkward to ask, right? So you have to use your words properly. So instead of saying, hey, can I please have a referral? No, that's like awkward. That's weird, right? But if you say something like, yeah, I love helping companies. I love helping companies grow. Do you know any companies that need to grow right now? That might feel more comfortable for a person than, hi, did I do a good job for you? Can you please give me a referral?
Yeah.
Because I want to do a good job for somebody else too.
Right. Right. No, that's so true.
Delivery makes a big difference. I agree with that.
And to that, yeah, like creating referrals is probably one of the most rewarding things that you can do. Seeing how your service actually creates more opportunities for you, for the people that you like to serve. And, when it comes to that is, again, create the relationship. Of course, if somebody comes to you firsthand and then you just service them, you just did something for them, probably not best to ask for a referral right then. They barely know you.
Yeah.
But if you service them and then you follow up, you keep that relationship, you service them again, maybe they stay with you for months, then you actually get to feel once that relationship turns over or you've talked to them for a little bit, yeah, put it out. Do you have somebody how have you been satisfied with my services? How have you been? Oh, it's great. Great. Like how you said, I love helping businesses do this. Do you know of one person? The power of one, they say, never ask anybody if they know somebody, because we all know somebody, but now I'm not trying to look through everybody. I only need one. Can you think of one person that would want to benefit like this? Do you think somebody could benefit? Yeah, they usually do. They can usually think of one at least.
Yeah.
Now, how do you actually take your planning to the execution phase? Because we just did this whole planning and really getting down to the roots of everything and really see how do we want to move throughout the year of 2021. Now, for you to execute on a high level, you got to take what your plan is and reverse engineer it, break it down to to measurables. So if you want to increase your sales, maybe you actually did, you want to increase by 10%. What does that mean halfway through the year? What does that mean in the next quarter? By the time you get to your month, you should have a distinct number that you're trying to shoot for and can actually keep you accountable. For execution, there is two things that will get you your execution to the next level. One, consistency. The other one, accountability. That's how you get yourself in execution mode. Because if you start doing things day in and day out, one, your confidence starts building, people start seeing you, and momentum starts accruing. Accountability, make sure that momentum doesn't drop and nobody gets left behind. Nothing, nobody. And when you're trying to get a team to execute, that's when you need to make sure that everybody understands their number. Everybody understands the goal. Everybody understands what they're responsible for, how they're accountable, and how they can keep each other accountable.
Yeah. And I would also say that you have to be cool. And when I say that is that I remember in like high school, that's when Kool was really born. But when I went to college, I got so corporate where it's like, oh, I got to get good grades and get into run these organizations so I can have a good resume so I can get a job. That's not cool, right? So like I'm saying is that business is more like high school than college. In high school, you're having fun and you're making friends and building relationships. In college, you're like, you're having some fun, but you're sweating it out to like impress somebody to get some job. That doesn't really work in the real world, because the real world is about building relationships. And if you're having fun and you have a value proposition, then it's easier to communicate. And that's why I tell companies, you need to establish what is your cool. Why should I be even talking to you? And I think that's universal.
Yes, no, that is completely universal. That's what you do in your planning. You really get down to what is your cool. What is, if you're in a team, in a leadership team, like you have to make sure that everybody understands the cool. Sometimes within the year or through time, people lose sight of things. We get caught in the weeds. So you got to take a step back, make sure like, oh man, you can't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself in this game. Make sure you're grounded on who you are, confident, and like how you said, start making friends. And how you do that is in your execution. When you implement and execute, your annual marketing, your why is in your cool, and your why is in every single one of those steps. Everywhere. You never leave it out.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things I want to close out with.
Yeah.
Drop a couple of gems here.
Yeah, please do.
The reality is that we need to think big, but you got to follow through on your promises and allow your humility to exceed your ability. Because here's the reality: when you're trying to help somebody and you want to exchange their money for your services, you need to understand that they are the star of the movie of their life, and you need to be just happy being an extra on their set, or a supporting actor, right? You have to humble yourself down and make sure they're getting everything that they need to succeed, and that they're getting results, not just some of your time, right? So people pay for experts, they pay for results, and the people that are going to make it in 2021 are companies that attract customers instead of chasing them. And that's cool.
That is cool. That is cool. Well, this is all we have you for. I really appreciate you coming, sitting down, talking to us. It was great fun. If anybody wants to follow up with Kool, he is on LinkedIn. So just Kool, you will find him. And he is by far, he will talk to you. He will reach out. He will comment. It will be a good experience for your LinkedIn I trust in LinkedIn.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Good. All right. Thanks so much, guys.
All right. Bye now.
Yeah.